Hi everybody, Andrew Cherin here. I'm a personal injury lawyer who represents people who have been injured in car accidents. I'm excited today to bring you another episode of my video blog. Today's topic has to do with intersection rules and who has the right of way when turning through an intersection. So one of the situations that I come across a lot of times, even when I'm driving, is when I'm at an intersection and there's somebody coming from the opposite way who's turning right and I want to turn left. Now, I'm on a two-way street and they're on a two-way street, and we're also turning onto a two-way street with two lanes going each way. So going in each direction, there's two lanes, so there's four lanes total on that side of the road. And who has the right of way in that situation? Who's entitled to what lane and where? I feel like I'm entitled to the far left lane and they're entitled to the far right lane. So at an intersection like that, we can ideally turn at the same time with no problems at all, so long as they signal, right? So I know what they're doing. That's one of my pet peeves too, is people that don't signal. It's like, what are you doing? You don't have any respect for anybody else that's on the road. Because we're not mind readers, we can't tell what's going on. So anyways, in this situation where a person's turning left across an intersection and a person's turning right, not crossing the intersection, coming from opposite angles and going onto the same street, who's at fault? And so let's look at, if there's a car accident here and the car that's turning right doesn't go to the closest lane to the curb, they go to the lane that the other person wants to turn into, which is pretty common. A lot of people do that. They turn into, when they're turning right, they want to get into that center fast lane. They don't want to stay in that right lane because usually there's something that's backed up maybe in that right lane or whatever. But who actually is entitled to that far left lane? And to find that answer, we got to look at the Washington State statute, RCW 4661-290, if you're following along. It says the required position and method of turning at intersections. The driver of a vehicle intending to turn shall do so as follows. 1. Right turns. Both the approach for a right turn and a right turn shall be made as close as practicable to the right-hand curb or edge of the roadway. So this means that you must turn in the closest lane. So in our situation where the person's turning left and then the other person coming from the other way is turning right, that person turning right needs to turn into that closest lane. And now normally in an intersection, going from both ways, you're supposed to give way to the cross street person. So the oncoming person has the right of way when you're turning across the intersection. But if they have their turn signal on and they're turning right and you're turning left, there should be no problem. And the law seems to state the same thing. It says that that person that's turning right must turn in that far right lane. So if they're not, it's an illegal lane change, and if they hit you in that situation, that's their fault. So I haven't really come across that situation too much, but I know it's out there. I know someone's had that situation where they're turning across those lanes and they're thinking that they can't have that right to that left lane because of general rules that say that they have the right of way versus somebody that's turning across the intersection. But that's true, but not to the full extent as they think that is. So anyways, if you are in a car accident and you're injured, give me a call. I give free consultations. My number is 206-850-6716. And I'd love to walk you through what we can do. Look for insurance coverage, look for liability issues like the one that we talked about today, and figuring out who's actually at fault when, maybe at first glance it seems like a no-brainer, but maybe there's some area of the law that's not well known that actually turns it in your favor. So let me know, and if you want to find out more information, visit my website, www.lawcherin.com, and download my free book, or look at my blog post. My free book is the Washington Injury Handbook on car accident injury law in Washington, and there's a lot of great things in it. So I recommend people go and look at my website. There's a lot of great free resources on there, from my blog post to my free book that I have on there. Just answers all the questions you need to know about your car accident injury case and whether you need a lawyer, which I think if you're injured in a car accident, you're seeing a chiropractor, physical therapist, and it's not your fault, you should definitely take advantage of a free consultation with a personal injury lawyer. Anyways, guys, I hope you found this video very helpful, and talk to you next time.